My name is Anuja and I'm delighted to be here today. I am very excited to talk to all of you about things I've learned from my transition from engineer to engineering manager. So let's get started. I'd like to start with a quick introduction. My name is Anuja and I am a data science manager at Medidata Solutions. I help productize data science and build products to further clinical research to get treatments to the market faster. I lead a team of engineers who help build these products and services to help run clinical trials. I am very passionate about mentoring, coaching, and helping create a more diverse, equitable, and inclusive future in tech. I am a new engineering manager. I have 2 years of experience in this role, and I still consider myself, well, new. And today, I'd like to share the experiences and lessons I've learned in my journey so far. But before we get to that, I'd like to establish the goal of this talk. My intention is to help make the transition smoother for new managers. This is not a talk about how to be an awesome engineering manager. Believe me, I'm still trying to figure that one out. This is a talk about how not to drown as a new manager. Okay, with that established, I'd like to talk about how I got into this role. I think most of you might be able to guess. It is the most common story. I didn't plan it, it just happened. My manager's team was expanding rapidly. It meant new teammates, a lot more projects, and additional responsibilities. And he thought I would be a good fit to take on that new responsibility. I'd also received feedback as a senior engineer from my teammates, peers, colleagues that I had an innate ability to lead. And so I thought it would be interesting to explore this new role and take it up. And here I am 2 years later. I faced a lot of challenges. I think this transition from engineer to engineering manager should be really considered as a career restart and not as a promotion. It is a new job. I had no formal training before jumping into this role. There was new waters to navigate, and there was a lot of unknowns. I tried quantifying my output the older way, the way I did as an engineer. And as a manager, that just doesn't work anymore. There are way too many meetings to attend. There's meetings with your team, one-on-ones, with senior management, catch-ups with key stakeholders. The list just doesn't end. I made a lot of mistakes. But hey, what better way to learn, right? One of the mistakes was not setting clear expectations for myself and for my team. And when you do that, it actually leads to incorrect assumed expectations, which is problematic. I didn't set time aside for learning. Management is a new craft that I was now learning, and I should have set time aside on my calendar to make sure that I made the time to learn this new skill. I continued to write code for projects, mainly because of resource constraints. While I think it's important to continue writing code on the side to make sure that you still have that empathy, for the difficulty of an engineer's job, and also to be resourceful for your team, I think it's important not to put yourself on the critical path and to not be in the way. Another mistake I committed was measuring my value by my output initially. As an engineer, work output is easy to quantify. At the end of the week, you can say that, yeah, I resolved these bugs, I worked on this feature, and I attended architecture review meetings, and this is the artifact I produced out of it. So it's quantifiable, it's measurable. But as an engineering manager, it's not tangible. Your work output is now the performance of your team. How productive is your team? Are they delivering value? Are they happy and content in the work that they're doing? All of that is your output. Avoiding conflict or hard conversation. When there is humans involved, there's got to be problems, right? And humans are way more complicated than software. It is very important that you be perceptive and be able to identify if team members are, maybe having problems getting along, or there's team dynamic issues, motivation issues, if team is not happy working on what they're working on. So there's definitely a need to make sure you attend to these issues, and ignoring them doesn't make them disappear, just makes them worse. So use it as an opportunity to build trust in your team. I've learned a lot of lessons in these 2 years, and I'd like to share some of them with you. It's important to have a mentor. If you're not assigned one by your manager, seek them out, preferably in your company and outside of your management chain. That will make sure that you get independent and objective advice, which is very, very helpful. Effective delegation is essential. You have hired excellent engineers on your team. They are extremely capable, so you should trust your team and delegate. Remember, you're now an enabler, unblocker, and a multiplier. One-on-ones are sacred, the most important meeting you'll have. It's a pulse check. It's important for you so that you understand what's going on your team, if there's any issues that your team is currently battling, how you can help. There's definitely a need to make sure that you don't reschedule these meetings or cancel them. It's a big no-no. Team identity and culture are very important. Lead the development of a healthy and supportive team culture. A team agreement document comes very handy in that, and lead your team to collaborate on such a document. Encourage curiosity, innovation, and open discussions. Last but not the least, honesty, empathy, and vulnerability make a good leader. Be vulnerable. Share a bad story about something that didn't go well. Be honest, be transparent, and be empathetic towards your team. It fosters strong connections with your team, improves communication, and helps in problem solving. In the last 2 years, I've had to develop a lot of new skills that I did not have as an engineer. Hiring. I invested a lot of time and effort in hiring, including screening candidates, setting up an interview panel, developing a relationship with recruitment team, conducting technical interviews, post-interview huddles, negotiations, and making offers. It's a lot of time and effort. Onboarding new hires. You might have been a part of onboarding new hires as an engineer, but as a manager, you're now responsible to make sure that the candidates have a positive experience of onboarding. And so create templates, make it easy for yourself and for new hires. Delegate responsibility to your team. Effective time management. I thought I was decent at time management as an engineer until I became a manager. I've learned so many email and calendar hacks, understood how to run meetings effectively, manage my time with them, and also plan my week ahead on a Friday evening. It's been extremely helpful. Running meetings. You are going to attend a lot of them. You are going to schedule a lot of them yourself and lead them. So learn to love them. No agenda, no meeting. I definitely insist on having an agenda for a meeting before I get into it. If there's none, I don't attend it. Prepare for them in advance, and also don't get out of the room until you have next steps. Drying repetitive techniques. Dry. Don't repeat yourself. A foundational principle in software development. So why not use it for management? Templatize the repetitive and boring stuff. Save time and save your mind. I've used a lot of resources in learning what I have in the last 2 years as a manager, and these are the books and the blogs that have been very helpful for me. They have been insightful, they have provided me with a lot of techniques I've been able to employ, and I highly recommend them. In closing, I'd like to say that this is just the beginning. I have found my journey so far to be extremely rewarding, and I have learned a lot about being a manager, about what it means, and there's a long way to go for me. So I am excited, and I look forward to what's in store for me in future. Look forward to learning, and thank you so much for attending my talk. Happy Women's Day.